Hey guys, I'm JanetOnOccasion, and today we're playing another Total War Warhammer II Battle Replay. This one was sent in by Von Karstein, and it's a good one. It's Chaos versus Greenskins, which can go either way, to be honest, so it's always fun to see how it plays out. So, Marauder Horsemasters in the front line. Really good missile damage, really strong, pretty good in melee, certainly considering the amount of fodder that you tend to see for the Greenskins. You know, they can run down things like goblins pretty happily, and they can cause a lot of things to break, especially with the low leadership. These guys get a rear charge on something, you can wrap up a fight very quickly, and they can chase down fleeing units wonderfully. So, huge amount of utility from these guys. You know, the missile damage alone is very, very useful against a lot of units. So here, you can see Chaos Marauders in the front line. So nice, cheap and cheerful, but they'll keep goblins at bay, and they'll stop the amount of stuff getting bogged down. Greenskins tend to bring the numbers, so you want to make sure that you have at least some things to start plugging in some gaps. Here you can see the Soul of Damnation Hell Cannon. Super accurate, huge missile damage, big old explosion damage too, so it's going to kill a lot of things with every hit. So, really cool to see. Don't often see a Hell Cannon, so that's really good. Great insurance against Black Orcs as well, especially. Black Orcs don't stand a chance, and Black Orcs are the things that are actually really good for dealing with things like Chaos Warriors. So here you can see Chaos Warriors with great weapons. They've got some extra armor piercing here too, but the armor alone means they will win out against a lot of the lesser Greenskin units, simply because those units don't have a lot of armor piercing. So these guys can actually survive, and the extra armor piercing helps in case there are a ton of Black Orcs. So this is all super useful indeed. And here, right in the front, there are some Chosen. Chosen will refuse to die, and with that huge armor, they could kill, I don't know, probably 1,000 goblins before they die. I mean, yeah, goblins, fine, but 1,000 of them pretty happily, I reckon. So yeah, very, very, very resilient, which is great. Good to have something like that to anchor your front line, and defend something like the Soul of Damnation from a load of fodder that might be trying to come in. Also here you can see Chaos Giant. You never see a Chaos Giant because archers are pretty common, and these guys are not good when it comes to a ton of archer fire with only 30 armor. Even just cheap missiles can kill them very quickly, but they don't half pack a punch. I mean, 600 weapon strength, 450 of that is armor piercing, 65 melee attack. It's ludicrous. Really high leadership too. So Chaos Giants, you never see them, which is part of the reason I wanted to cast this. You never see a Chaos Giant because they're pretty iffy to bring a lot of the time. But if the enemies just bring a load of, you know, armor piercing, try and deal with Chaos Warriors and the like, they probably haven't really thought to bring mass missiles to deal with something like a Chaos Giant. So it's kind of cool. Really interesting to have him. Also, way over here you can see the Spellcaster is a Lord of Death. Chaos Sorcerer, Lord of Death. So he's on a dragon, so great melee stats with his 520 weapon strength, plenty of armor piercing, Purple Sun, Spirit Leech, I believe that's Doom and Darkness as, nope, Aspect to the Dread Knight, so he can give some more things some terror, which is nice. Doom and Darkness I really like in this matchup too, because you can cause a terror rout very, very quickly. But yeah, Aspect the Dread Knight's pretty nice. You can put up leadership for things like Chaos Marauders, stop them breaking so quickly, and make them terrify stuff. So it just helps any unit sort of stop that front line, you know, as long as, yeah, I mean, you've got 2 terror-causing units anyway, so usually you've got most things covered in terms of terror, but the extra leadership, like, buff, and the chance to have terror in anywhere that you don't otherwise have it is really cool. So I really like that. His opponent, though, really cool army here. You can see Goblin Wolf Rider Archers, Mogrov's Mangy Marauders, and Goblin Wolf Rider Archers. And this is his ranged contingent. This is all his ranged. So he just wanted to be mobile, you know, deal with things like the Marauder Horsemasters, which, to be fair, you really do want to counter. But with their huge missile damage, they are actually winning out for a lot of this. These guys are suffering quite a bit, and the Hell Cannon is even trying to hit them too. And with the leadership penalties of being attacked by artillery, you can force these guys to break a little quicker too. So I like that. Frontline, Savage Orcs. Savage Orc Biggins, so great anti-large there. More Savage Orcs, more Biggins, and more Savage Orcs. So not a lot of armor piercing the front line, but there is some good anti-large. And just the huge weapon strength of the Savage Orcs, they will deal with things like Marauders very, very quickly because they kill so fast. But armor piercing, he does have 3 Trolls. So these Trolls will be great for dealing with Chaos Warriors, and because they regenerate and they have quite low leadership, with all the terror around, they're probably going to run away a lot. But that's fine, because they're going to run away, and unless something can chase them off, they're going to regenerate and come back into the fight. So they keep getting more charges off. So their willingness to run is actually beneficial at times. So I really like that about the Trolls. The Ragnarok Queen here, great anti-large armor piercing, but not the biggest weapon strength in the world. Certainly not compared to a giant. So yes, he's got the anti-large, but still still, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough if those guys are duking it out. This is the best anti-large he's got. Well, really, I say that. The Savage Orc Biggins would do brilliantly against a Giant, because Giants aren't very good at killing masses of things, but these guys have great anti-large and good weapon strength. They could bog him down pretty easily. But they're not going to do so well against Chosen or something that might choose to be a bodyguard. Also, Azag the Slaughterer, so death magic on both sides. He's got nothing but Spirit Leech, which is very interesting. He's just going to keep spamming that, because of course Chaos cannot heal. So, speeding things up. You can see, yeah, things aren't going well for the missile contingent. These Marauder Horsemen are actually dealing with them. If his Goblin Archers, they'd be faring better than these units. They'd be faring a lot better. But yeah, both very interesting builds at the moment. Some unique stuff going on. So, Azag has been Spirit Leeched, as has the Chaos Sorcerer. They've both used an upgraded version for the extra range, but that means they both spent more Winds of Magic on those spells. So here it looks like, yep, Spider Hatchlings being summoned, and they can start chasing the Marauder Horsemasters down and let these guys start pulling in and shooting at these guys, which is very handy. So these guys can run straight in. If you're trying to path away from them, it means that the Spider Hatchlings are going to be getting shot at, not the other units. Marauders do run in to block them though, which is very clever, and more Hell Cannon Fire coming in, trying to get through these guys, and that is a massive hit on these Night Goblins. Oh, I forgot to mention them. Yes, he does have the 8-peak Loonies as well. And they are suffering hugely. They are unbreakable, so a big hit like that is very useful for whittling them down quickly. But all these guys are struggling. They are struggling. And in the front line, you can see the Spider Hatchlings obviously getting dealt with. Marauders, though, are getting dealt with. And here's a Purple Sun to try and help whittle down some of these units. So these Savage Orcs and the Biggins both took quite a bit of damage from that. And that means that these Chosen can pull in, Aspect of the Dread Knight, giving them terror and extra leadership, and they can start fighting through these guys, which is really nice. These Marauders, though, obviously broken to pieces, and now the Chaos Warriors are running in, but the Trolls will do very well against the Chaos Warriors. Over on this side, a load of units starting to flee, as you'd expect, and the Giant is wading in, and he hits so hard that he's actually great for killing Trolls. He will actually start killing some models, and those models won't be able to regenerate if they're dead, so having something heavy hitting is perfect against Trolls. If you have something that isn't very heavy hitting, just masses of infantry, the Trolls won't lose any models by the time they run away, and all of their models will regenerate, so they won't lose any combat effectiveness. But against a Giant that's just killed a couple models, that is very useful. It's making the Giant pay for himself already. He is getting shot out a fair bit, but he's getting some great hits on the Arachnarok Queen. So in the back, still just plenty of Spirit Leeches being used by both of the Lords, and it looks like the Chaos Sorcerer Lord is the one that's suffering the most, but here he is trying to come in and deal with the Arachnarok Queen. Just make sure that Arachnarok Queen gets shut down as quickly as possible before it can do any lasting damage to anything. Trolls are running back in, and that will distract the Giant somewhat. In the back line, you can see that Spider Hatchlings are still chasing off these Marauder Horsemasters, and it means the Marauder Horsemasters are wasting all their ammunition on a summoned unit, which is a bit of a pity. There's other valuable things to attack here. So, a load of Greenskin units are running away, including the Arachnarok Queen, but a load of them are coming back, because that's the thing, they always come back. Over here, though, Chosen, keeping these guys seriously wrapped up, and now a beautiful breath attack about to come in, and that is some significant damage to all of these units. And that is pretty backbreaking. That is pretty backbreaking. Now, if he gets a nice dive in here onto those Trolls, he could maybe kill a few models and also help terrify all of these units away. And everything just terrifies. Takes a big chunk out of some of them there. And the Giant's still getting shot at, but because it's not that many missiles, you know, things like Goblin Archers, because the model counts are so high, the damage adds up really quickly against non-armored targets. But here, they just don't have the weight of fire with these units. Sure, they have the maneuverability, they're not going to get caught, but they're not going to do damage very quickly. So the Chaos Giant is actually weathering this fairly well. The Arachnarok Queen is on his way back, though, and now they're trying to deal with the Savage Orcs, because a load of units have been trying to come in here to deal with the Solar Damnation, and Von Karstein just isn't letting this happen. Solar Damnation's still online, 85 kills so far, and he's mostly been shooting at the Missile Cav for a lot of this. Another Spirit Leech on the Chaos Sorcerer Lord, though, but a load of units are starting to terrify here, and the Trolls are basically surrounded in here. They're really stuck in, and that Giant is going to do a ton of damage to them. And there we go, they terrify too. They terrify as well. So some units holding back because they don't want to charge in, but actually I think they should have probably charged in. They should have been a bit more aggressive here, because those units were bound to lose that fight, and now those Trolls are actually not only terrified, but shattered. And that is backbreaking. These Trolls are really necessary to deal with the Chosen that still have a ton of health left. So over here you can see these Chaos Warriors have finally been wrapped up. So these units have pushed the advantage. The trolls have actually lost a few models. They're on 9 models right now, but while they're sat around here, they will be regenerating. So over here you can see these spider hatchlings trying to deal with the Solid Damnation. So the Chaos Sorcerer is going to push in here to try and help. Savage Orcs pushing in, and even without the anti-large, just the fact they have almost no armor to get through with the Chaos Giant. They'll do well against the Chaos Giant, but with the Chosen bodyguarding him, it's going to be very difficult for them to actually get onto the Chaos Giant. They're going to have to fight through all this heavy armor here. Chosen with their gold shields. How on earth did that happen? They have gold shields now. Was it just because of a couple of chevrons, maybe? I don't know. They're doing great, though. They are doing great. So, Chaos Sorcerer Lord jumping in again, helping terrify these trolls, and huge hit coming in from the Solar Damnation, helping just break everything. Might have killed a few Chosen doing that, though, but when you can get rid of this many units, you do it, don't you? You do it. So, Marauder Horsemasters being used very well to start chasing units off, and oh, don't know what that was aiming for. Not a clue. Not a clue. But anyway, in the back here, 8-Peak Looney still going, still trying to chase down these Chaos Warriors, throwing their Fanatics out, doing some damage with them. And now the Arachnarok Spider is the target of the Solar Damnation. It does very high armor-piercing damage, so it's not a bad idea to try and shoot the Arachnarok Queen. Quite a big target. Amazingly, he did dodge that one, though. Oh, and now, no, looks like he's going for Azag, and that was actually a pretty good hit. That was unexpected. That was unexpected. The enemy player probably thought he was still aiming for the Arachnarok Queen and didn't think to dodge Azag. I mean, he did manage to get him moving a bit, but not quite. Not quite enough. So now, Chaos Sorcerer is coming back in. He had broken, but he is coming back. Super injured. Certainly more worse off than Azag is. He's a lot more worse off than Azag is. He still has about half his health. So, pretty good for Azag to be able to stay like this. But he hasn't been in combat much, which means he's not generating the War. And the War would be super useful at this point. You're going to need it to get rid of the Chosen with their 60 melee defense. So here, you can see the Sorcerer Lord is coming in for the Arachnarok Queen with the Giant and these Marauder Horsemasters charging in. He's going to be pretty quick to break, but it looks like that Chaos Sorcerer has had it. One more Spirit Leech on him and he's probably going to die. That will affect leadership all across the board. But, I mean, the Arachnarok's gone again. The Arachnarok's gone again. Chaos Giant, no more Archer Fire left that can hit him. But, yeah, a couple Spirit Leeches on him and he's going to go down pretty quickly too. So over here, all of the mobile units managing to get an ambush on the Solar Damnation, and that is pretty painful because that Solar Damnation still has plenty of ammo. So maybe slightly too adamant that, you know, he wanted to kill the Arachnarok Queen when he could have just protected the cannon for longer and got value with the cannon. You know, the Arachnarok Queen would have had to come for him eventually, and given how little health she has left, could have been taken out pretty happily anyway. So it was just asking for the Solar Damnation to get taken out. But it looks like they have just held on. They have managed to hold on. And now they're having to charge the next lot of units that are coming in. But the Chosen are now here, and they will be able to hold off pretty much anything all by themselves. So Terror starting to hit thanks to the Giant. So, yeah, still more Terror. Even without the Chaos Sorcerer Lord, Terror is still on the field. So, Spider Hatchlings coming in. Once again, no, they're broken. They were too injured. So units started to shatter, and that is a problem. And once again, you know, the Trolls, brilliant units, but they do struggle against something that just hits that hard. And Terror hits them once again. Azag needs to be closer to this engagement. He doesn't have to worry too much about being shot from range, apart from the Solar Damnation, but still, that Terror would help. You know, the encouragement would help prevent Terror too. And now the Arachnarok Queen has shattered. But look at this, Azag coming in for the Chaos Giant. And nope, that's not a hit. Nope, that's not a hit. And, ooh, God, he missed. Wow, that's surprising. Only 24 melee defense. He got very lucky there. Trolls are coming in again, trying to stop the Solar Damnation one more time. And over here, Savage Orcs are trying to keep these guys busy to give the Trolls time to charge in. They are wavering right now, but immediately they can start winning this fight. And the Solar Damnation is probably going to be online soon. Azag coming in with another good charge. Sadly, the Savage Orcs terrified just as he came in, which makes him the target once more. So, Azag, though, doing some significant damage to that Chaos Giant. He's not doing bad here. And now the Trolls charging in the rear, they can get some good damage into the Chosen, all the Chaos Warriors. That's for sure. But again, they just don't do well against Giants. They really don't. So Azag is having to run in again while the Giant's distracted and try and get a nice charge on him. Try and take him down. And that hit was... Yep, okay, he hit, but that's the Troll shattered. It's just down to Azag, and Azag can't sit and fight all of this. It looks like he's almost got the Giant. But, yeah, the Chosen as well. One more hit on Azag, shatters him. Oh, that was pretty close, though. That was pretty close. If that Giant had died a little sooner, those Trolls could have done more work. It's that simple. You know, at that point of the game, there were trolls, but the giant existed, and the giant is just the best way to deal with trolls, which I think makes this very clever, because you don't tend to bring just a ton of missiles as the Greenskins against the Warriors of Chaos. Even though you can outrange everything, a lot of the time it's not great value because of all the armor. So it doesn't always work out, and things like Goblin Archers could get routed with a couple of shots from a Hell Cannon. And Hell Cannons, you know, they're not the most common thing, but they can be brought. So having mobile units shut down something like that, it means you're missing out on a lot of missile damage, which can help against the Chaos Giant. And you never expect the Chaos Giant, so this was a beautiful off-meta pick that I think was just amazing. I really loved this. I really loved this as a pick. That Giant put in some work, because all of the biggest counters that the Greenskins had to the rest of the army, the Giant could deal with. You know, the Arachnarok Queen just doesn't hit half as hard, and with all the armor-piercing damage, her armor means nothing. You know, it doesn't help. The missile fire just isn't dense enough to be able to deal with something like a Chaos Giant. The Savage Orc Biggins, with the amount of terror, you know, sort of available, these guys are going to get terrified very quickly, and if you've got any of these units bodyguarding, the Chaos Warriors or the Chosen especially, they're just never going to get a hit on the Chaos Giant. So all that huge anti-large and, you know, just heavy, just big weapon strength, non-AP weapon strength, that would be great against a Giant, it's just not going to dent these guys. They're just going to keep them off, let the Giant attack what it needs to attack. The Trolls, you know, terrible leadership. The terror is going to keep them at bay, and just their heavy hits from the Chaos Giant is going to kill models, so no amount of regeneration is going to help them, because they're going to be dead, you know? They need to keep their model counts high for that to really help them out, but in this case, fighting someone like a Giant, it doesn't help. The Giant just cemented this whole build, and let him fend off the Greenskins here. This was really fun. I really love this build. So, yeah, absolutely amazing. So, guys, if you enjoyed this, please do comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good day, guys.